I've decided to try the Lamborghini Hypercar in the Proto H series at the Mugello circuit. Now once again I forgot something, which is how do I tune this car, how do I set up this car. I end up downloading one of the user created setups, so this was very handy and very nice of these guys. If you are a beginner or you have still no idea how to set up the cars and you are learning to do so, these setups can be very helpful for you. No, I just missed my quali lap for a few seconds. Now this is going to be a very busy race, a very long grid, and I'm starting in the middle of the pack surrounded by other drivers. And this time, instead of using the mediums, I'm going to try 2 stints on the soft tire. Now this race start can become a very scary situation because you have so many drivers diving into T1 at full speed with hypercars. These cars are very fast and very twitchy, so you need to be careful with them. You see some people almost crashing, but overall you don't have those huge dive bombs, you don't have people just flying off the track. So for the most part this is looking like a clean race, full of clean drivers. You guys may see some paint trading here and there, but that is normal on these really big hypercars and prototypes. And especially driving in cockpit view, we need to rely on the radar quite a lot, because just like in real life, if other drivers are also using the cockpit view like myself, it is very hard to listen and to hear cars around yourself with the prototype type cars. I have seen inside these kinds of cars in the Portimão racetrack. The cockpit makes you feel a little bit claustrophobic, it's very closed and you have low visibility and you sit very low inside it. But right now we are missing in a lot of action on the track, lots of overtakes right in the first lap, so you guys can see these fixed setups that you can download. They are very good, some of them might be very helpful, and you can always use the telemetry app to learn a thing or two about the tire pressures or the camber alignment, or even how hard the suspension is working. I end up getting this small penalty for that collision. I was not expecting to hit that guy that hard. I didn't mean to actually cause any trouble, and I hope that race went okay. With so many hypercar overtakes, this might have been one of my most insane first laps ever. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to do the setup, and the gearing here seems a bit strange because I'm not able to reach even 7th gear on the hypercar, so I could have done better with a way shorter gearbox, I think. Here I'm finally at a point where I'm struggling to do an overtake and I have a fast guy behind me and I'm trying to overtake this guy. I think he was trying to defend a little bit hard, but nothing too serious or nothing too bad. We were able to race side by side without much trouble. Now if you have a force feedback wheel and you have not experienced these fast corners of Mugello on a high performance, high downforce hypercar, you have no idea on what you are losing, especially if you are using my kind of force feedback settings. It feels amazing to drive here. Now here a really huge mistake. I pressed the wrong button when I went to look back, and instead I pressed the pause button, which takes me off the race. I was thinking about chasing P3 or defending from P4 to P5, and right now I end up losing a position because I lost so much speed on the straight. Luckily it was very easy to overtake this guy. This guy seemed to be also a clean driver and not too problematic. Here you see me correct some oversteer moment over the curbs, and this is very nice with the force feedback. Now the 3 podium positions seem to be racing very close to each other, so I need to keep it clean. There is a chance here that I can get either a podium place or maybe flat out win this race if I get lucky. Big slides here, so I need to be a little bit more careful with some of the curves. This setup seems to be a little bit nervous over the curves. P1 seems to be pulling away, but P2 and P3 seem to be fighting hard over the racing line, and this gives me an opportunity, a chance at least to get a podium position. And the battle between these two guys is actually helping me out close in their position. These guys are putting on a show, they are going side by side into T1 and I'm just right behind watching this battle unfold. And later on it becomes my turn to get in on this action as well. Right here I'm about to have a very close call because I don't want to crash into anyone and I want to keep it clean and avoid getting any more penalties. At the same time, these soft tires are wearing out faster than the medium tires, of course. I'm doing my best to fight for third place, but these guys seem to almost crash me out of the track, and I end up not expecting him to turn into the apex there. I end up getting a huge penalty and doing a very dirty move without that intention. Well, this video was initially about using downloaded setups and fixed user-created setups and being able to do good races. I think there is another lesson here, which was I should have been a little bit more patient. Right now I have a 4-second, which is one of the highest penalties you can get from a collision. So that was a very bad collision. I took out a nice fast driver, and right now this might be even wasting my whole race because I have such a huge penalty that I don't know if I have the pace to outrun it. I'm getting again very close to the guy in P2 and I'm about to overtake him. I'm going to try to get the cleanest overtake possible done here, even though I'm on the very used soft tires. I even end up getting a track penalty, so another penalty to the collection. This is getting very bad. It's almost 5 seconds total time of penalties. This last lap of the stint on the soft tire, it's a very hard lap. It's a lap where you might even get undercut if other people are driving on other kind of compound, because this lap will be much slower than your regular pace. Due to the lack of grip, you will be struggling a lot. And finally, after all that pain, I finally reached the pits to change the tires. Now I'm halfway to the race and the medium tires will be wasted because they will last more laps, so I'm committing to the soft tire strategy. I still think that this strategy in the end might pay off. Let's see in which position I'm getting out of the pits. I'm in P6 and I'm 7 seconds behind the guy in front of me that already went to the pits. But the leader is 17 seconds ahead without going to the pits yet, so I think the pits are around 20 seconds, I might overtake him. And right now, after everyone going to the pits, I'm left in P2, so I have a chance at fighting for P1 as the guy here just struggled a little bit with an off-track. And now, as I just overtake him, I just come to a really bad realization, which is I'm only in P1 if I am able to finish this race 5 seconds ahead of this guy, because he seems to be very clean without any penalties, and he seems also to be a little bit fast. He's following me quite close. I'm not sure if I will be able to win this race, and it will be my own undoing because of my own penalties. Now, even though we are both using the same Lamborghini Hypercar, this guy seems to have way more top speed than what I have. I think this comes down to the gearing on the setup, and even though this fixed setup that I downloaded was working pretty well, I wish I could change the gearing on it. And while there is a chance for us to go a little bit back and forth, especially here, if this guy defends even though I'm faster on the corners, I won't have a chance to overtake him. At this point of the race, if I don't overtake him and gap him quick, I won't be able to get the position because of my huge time penalty, and to be honest, I'm even lucky if I stay in second place. I just need to be sure to keep some distance from the guy in P2, otherwise I even lose risking the podium. And after this huge mess up, the race is settled. I won't be even able to fight for P1 anymore. I ended up sharing these videos with you guys just to share how I was able to perform, trying out some random setups that I downloaded from the user base. And if you guys are struggling with some specific car, those setups can be a good starting point. I would not advise you guys to just rely on that, and I would always encourage you guys to learn how to set up the cars. I think that will always be the best option. Maybe this guy is also on the soft tires, but he seems to be struggling quite a lot, and maybe I will have the chance to overtake him here, but not sure if that is going to be enough to gap this car and actually get first place in this race. But I always have to try, always have to be close enough to get into any opportunities that might come up. And he might have went off track. I think that this guy lost a huge amount of time to me, a whopping 5 seconds, so I might have a chance here. but I need to drive perfectly on very worn out soft tires. And there is also a chance this might not be enough because this guy is much faster than me on the mid straight. This race was really bad on my part. I only had one contact, but this made me one of the dirtiest drivers on the track, and because of this I might lose some safety rating on my next video. You guys have no idea, but I was just sent into a dirty driver lobby full of very bad drivers, and you'll watch some crazy fights on the track. This is my punishment and my lesson. I had the fastest lap of this race. I could have won this race, but because I was a dirty driver I ended up losing this race, even though I did 9 overtakes and was the fastest car on track. In the middle of the race, with the stress and tension, sometimes we lose hindsight of things, but looking back into the video I noticed I could have waited a little bit more and I should have been way cleaner doing that overtake. Maybe I thought the guy tried to pull me off the track in the moment before and I acted as revenge, but we must always avoid getting revenge because sometimes we have a high chance of getting punished. In the end, it's unsportsmanlike behavior. It takes away from the enjoyment of racing, and even though I could have enjoyed the first place or fought for it, in this case I ended up losing this race because of the penalty. On my next few videos I'll have some videos about very dirty driver lobbies where I got paired with some of the worst Forza drivers, and also some very wholesome races where I figured out how to tune these hypercars, and I had very nice close racing with some great drivers. Stay tuned, comment, like, subscribe, and have a great day.